Skytypers enter the Airshow airspace using an overhead tactical approach. Military pilots going into a hot area use this type of approach in a hostile environment to assess the situation on the ground. I present to you, ladies and gentlemen, the GEICO Skytypers. Once the formation detects a threat, the aircraft must split up and maneuver aggressively. The squadron will now introduce you to a three-dimensional maneuver as they demonstrate what many pilots experiencing when entering the same airspace as their opponents for an air-to-air engagement. Let's follow the aircraft as they cross its show center and descend and converge over the same point to demonstrate an air-to-air intercept engagement. By the German Air Force, the Luftwaffe, every night, and they were being fought off by the Supermarine Spitfires and the Hawker Hurricanes of the Royal Air Force, and also an American airplane. And that was the Curtiss P-40 Kitty Hawk, or the War Hawk as it was known here in the States. When Curtiss had reached its peak production and could not build any more for the Royal Air Force, the British Purchasing Commission in 1940 approached Dutch Kindleberger, North American's president, and said, "Dutch, we want you to build the P-40 Warhawks under license because we really like the way you build our Harvard trainers." And so, interestingly, Dutch Kindleberger responded to the British Purchasing Commission request by saying, "We don't want to build somebody else's airplane under license. We want to build it. We'll give you a new airplane. Just give us 120 days." That was an incredibly bold statement, but they knew some things about wing design that nobody else knew. And that was called a wing design called laminar flow. And 117 days later, the first Mustang rolled off the production line at North American Aviation. It was outfitted with the same type of engine as the Curtiss P-40 Warhawk, with an Allison V12 liquid-cooled engine, and it was put into use by the Royal Air Force. Unfortunately, though, it didn't perform well enough at high altitude. Well, the Royal Air Force decided they wanted to make a change to the Mustang, so they took a couple of them, took the motors off, those Allison motors off, and put on a Rolls-Royce Merlin engine that generated somewhere between 1,100 and 1,400 horsepower, the same type of engine that was in their Supermarine Spitfires and Hawker Hurricanes. And that gave the Mustang the performance it needed. So from a 5,500-pound trainer, advanced trainer, for nearly 30 allied nations that you see landing in front of you now, flown by the GEICO Skytypers, came what many consider to be the best fighter of all, single-engine fighter of all of World War II, the North American P-51 Mustang. Depending on whose history book you read, there were upwards of 15,000 Texans built. The actual number will never be known. Even the historian for North American Aviation has said nobody will ever know the actual number. One source I've read says 22,000.